EA Sports. It's in the game. Welcome to the broadcast. We've got Lions football on tap here on your home for NFL action, EA Sports Radio. And the fans here in Nashville will need to break out the suntan lotion for this one. It's going to be hot out there as we get ready for the opening kickoff. Pivotal matchup here on EA Sports Radio today, and this one is the Detroit Lions take on the Tennessee Titans.
The Lions will start the drive at the 25-yard line.
Split backfield here. Looking for a receiver. Passes it out to the left. He reels it in. Ronaldo Hill there for the stop.
That play is good for the Lions. First down. First and 10. Ball on the 45-yard line.
Defense lines up in the four-man front. Give us to Kevin Jones. Intercepted. Drags him down behind the line.
No gain. Second and 13. Ball on the 42-yard line.
They'll line up in the I formation. Again with the run. They're going to spot this one at the 44.
Jones on the carry. No gain. Stand up.
They'll come out in the dime. The quarterback looks to throw. Passing to his left. Tackle at the 42-yard line.
The catch is made for a first down. First and 10. Ball on the 42-yard line.
Out of the I formation. They hand it off. They'll spot this one at the 42.
Jones gets the call in the way. No gain. Second and 10. Ball on the 42.
Nickel package on defense. He wants to pass. Welcome to the Panthers broadcast here on the EA Sports Radio Network. We're here in the Emerald City, Seattle, Washington. This is setting up to be a great one here on EA Sports Radio today as the Carolina Panthers take on.
They'll take over.
See you get loose. Take it to the floor. Baby girl, let me see your leg go. Get loose with it. Little style. Run up on them, get loose. Take it to the floor. Baby. Get loose with it. Little style. Run up on them, get loose. I see you tryna look so sedity. Go ahead. For the prince of the city. Yeah, you pretty, but you gotta do something. Stop standing on the wall, now move something. And baby, I promise that you'll feel better. So I'ma let her, cause this girl straight wildin'. I just start smiling. I like your style and I know you a lady. But now at the time, let it loose and get crazy. Don't be lazy. And ladies, put it on when you break. Ain't no thing, cause you know everybody drunk. Ain't you sitting in a spot, so everybody stuck. And everybody jump when we on the dance floor. So I'ma keep it crackin' while the ladies get loose. Take it to the floor. Baby girl, let me see your leg go. Get loose with it. Little style. Run up on them, get loose. Take it to the floor. Baby. Get loose with it. Little style. Run up on them, get loose. To the test. Show me your best. Get on the floor, release some of that stress. She all sad, looking pink in the eye. So I stepped up, gave her a wink from my eye. Cause when I'm in the club, I'm a real gangster. When I'm in the club, I'm a fly day getter. So I hang with her for a party tonight. Cause on the real, I'm trying to like, this is a party tonight. With a little shorty tonight. And yeah, I'm drunk, but I ain't sipping on tonight. Some good night, but ain't just in between. Cause trying to see if I can squeeze it. And don't it sound me, but you knew it was coming. I know you wanna dance, so man, so stop frontin'. These other cats got no chance, but they wouldn't. You wanna bust a look, shake some, get loose. Take it to the floor.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this NFL preseason matchup. Starting at tight end. Starting at linebacker. Our Georgia Tech, starting at halfback. And finally, starting at quarterback, Georgia Tech, Michael Vick.
Welcome to the broadcast here on EA Sports Radio, the flagship station of New England Patriots football. here at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. Preseason football is on its way, where we might just see the starters take a few more snaps than usual, as the New England Patriots take on the Atlanta Falcons. From the 34-yard line.
Kickoff return, 15 yards. Beverly on the return. First and 10. Ball on the 49.
One back formation. The handoff to Dunn. The defender drags it down at the 49.
Dunn on the carry. No gain. Second and 10. Ball on the 49-yard line.
Solid zone formation, ready?
Only one man back.
Set. Blue, 74. Blue, 74. Hey, put the plans on. Space.
Dunn on the carry. Shows his quick feet. Ellis Hobbs comes up to make the play.
Dunn.
Back to the line of scrimmage, but that's all.
No gain. Third and 10. Ball on the 49.
They line up in a one-back set. Vic looking to throw. Throws it to the heart of the field.
We here at the Georgia Dome would like to remind you to be sure to pick up your Revenue Division bobblehead on your way out of the stadium today.
Past the goal line, no return here.
First and 10. Ball on the 20.
Single back formation. Flag down, the play clock had expired.
The Patriots will start the drive at the 15-yard line. First and 15.
Nickel package on defense. The fullback on the carry. No, he loses it. It's picked up.
First and 10. Ball on the 18.
They're inside the 20 now. The first time they've been inside the red zone. The handoff to Dunn. Stop behind the line for a loss.
Dunn with the carry on the play. Loss of 2. Second and 12. Ball on the 20-yard line.
Out of the I formation.
Watch him in.
Vic takes the snap. Throwing left. This one will be spotted at the 14.
Vic with the completion. Gain of 6. Third and 6. Ball on the 14-yard line.
One back formation. Little handoff. The quarterback, play action. He brings it in. Eugene Wilson comes up to make the play.
First and goal. Ball on the 2.
One man in the backfield. He stopped him short.
Vic hits the call on the run. No gain. Second and goal. Ball on the 2-yard line.
See it. Check, key. All on your wrist, halfway through. Blue, 74. Blue, touchdown. That's it, touchdown.
We here at the Georgia Dome would like to remind you to remain mindful of your personal property. Neither the team nor the facility is responsible for any lost or stolen articles.
Anything designed to come with. Yeah. Come on now.
Third and goal. Ball on the 2.
We won.
They'll line up in their 3-4. Vic looks to pass. Throws it over to the left. It's caught! Touchdown, Oregon!
Touchdown, Falcon.
They get set for the extra point attempt. And he tacks on the extra point. Atlanta has now pulled ahead by 7.
Atlanta will be kicking off. Brown, the deep return man. Kickoff return 24 yards. Brown on the return. The Patriots will start the drive at the 24-yard line. First and 10.
Defense lines up in a 4-man front. They'll give it off here. Shakes the tackle. Hall with the stop. And a pickup of about 2.
Second and 7. Ball on the 27-yard line.
They line up in a one-back set. Gets the handoff on the delay. Kearney trips him up.
On the
Just
run.
about a 3-yard gain.
Gain of 3.
Only one man back. Gets the delayed handoff. Jackson, the stop on the play. Back to the line of scrimmage, but that's all.
The ball carrier on the right. Loss of 1.
Too deep.
We've reached the end of the first quarter, and the score is 7-0.
All right, fans, time to make some noise.
They give it to Corey Dillon. Shakes it. Makes the tackle.
That play is good for the Patriots first down. First and 10. Ball on the 50.
One man in the backfield. Here comes Corey Dillon. Brings him down.
Ball carrier on the right. Loss of 2. Second and 12. Ball on the 48.
Defense lines up in a 4-man front. On the carry. He'll be tackled at the 47.
Dillon on the run. Gain of 3. Make some noise for your defense, fans.
The defense lines up in the nickel. The back takes the handoff. Roderick Coleman makes the stop. 1-yard gain on the play.
Gets the ball. Gain of 2.
A field goal attempt from this spot will be next to impossible, so they'll just go. Sends it right. He's there. It's caught. D'Angelo Hall makes the tackle.
Caldwell makes the catch. The play results in a first down. First and 10. Ball on the 20-yard line.
Over to Boston. Tennessee.
And let's see what they can do on this possession in the red zone. Their first trip inside the 20. They'll go with the run once again. Jackson there to make the tackle. Gain of 4.
Dillon on the carry. Gain of 3. Second and 6. Ball on the 15.
They'll line up in a one-back set. Gets the toss to the left. The ball slips out. Scoops up the loose ball.
Gain. Recovers the fumble.
Hit him.
some noise for your defense, fans. There are 2 minutes left in the first half. Make some noise for your defense.
Brady looking for an option. Out to his right. Makes the grab in the end zone.
Touchdown, Patriots.
Gotta be smart. Let's go, team! Let's do this, boy. Yeah, had a lot of fun, yo.
Number 3 in to attempt the extra point that'll tie this game up. He tacks on the point after. The Pats come back to knot it up.
Next move.
Number 3 in to kick this one off.
Kickoff return, 20 yards. Russell on the return. The Falcons will start the drive.
Defense lines up in their base 3-4.
First and 10.
Pass play here on first down. Almost intercepted.
The pass falls incomplete. High is there on the coverage. Second and 10.
1 man in the
Ball
backfield.
on the 20.
Slash. Look at the number play. Man, they gotta let us play.
Full start. Offense. Repeat second down.
There's one big one for somebody.
Second and 15.
They'll line up in the I
Ball
formation.
on the 15-yard line.
Done on the carry. The market at the 14-yard line.
Dunn on the carry. Loss of 1. Third and long.
Out of the I
Ball
formation.
on the 14.
Under.
The give is to Dunn. Stop. At the 21.
Dunn gets the pull. Gain of 7.
Slow down. Keep walking.
And you look to bring this one back.
39-yard punt. A loss will return.
Let's go. And they got the rep.
First and 10.
They come out in the nickel.
Ball on the 40.
They give it to Corey Dillon. Goes down at the 43.
Dillon gets the call on the run. Gain of 3. Second and
Nickel
7.
package on defense.
Ball on the 43.
The tailback on the carry. Jimmy Williams
with the carry on the play. Gain of 3.
We'll make that money, man. Let's go.
4-man defensive front this time. They go with the run. Off he goes. Nice job converting for the first on that carry. They'll head into the locker room with the score even after 2 quarters of play. Halftime's over and we're set for the kickoff. From the 3.
Kickoff return 24 yards. High on the return. They'll start the drive at the 28-yard line. First and 10.
One back formation. Hand off to the halfback. Jimmy Williams comes up to make the play.
The ball
And
carrier
he picks up
on the
about
play.
4.
Gain of 3. Second and 6. Ball on the 32-yard line.
They'll line up in a one-back set. They keep it on the ground. Take it down before he can get back to the line.
Loss of 2.
One man in the backfield. Looking to throw. Goes right. Jumps and makes the catch.
Number 16.
He goes down at the 43.
Gain of 26. First and 10. Ball on the 43-yard line.
Out of the I formation. Hands it off to him again. Your running game is struggling. You have to start looking for offense from some of your other players. If they can loosen it up with a few passes, it should open up those running lanes.
Second and 10. Ball on the 43.
They'll come out in the shotgun. Back to pass. Passes it out to the left. Tipped away.
We here at the Georgia Dome would like to take this opportunity to remind you that the variety of team apparel is on closeout at the team store on a lower level. Be sure to stop by the store on your way out to take advantage of the great deals.
One back formation. Back goes the quarterback. French has it. They'll spot this one at the 27-yard line.
The play is good for the Patriots first down. First and 10. Ball on the 27-yard line.
They'll come out in the eye. They'll keep it on the ground again. Inside the 10. He's in. Touchdown.
Touchdown, New England.
So we gotta go at him hard. We had him, man.
And now to punt it away. Into the end zone for the touchback. And they failed the two-point conversion. They'll only put 6 on the board this time. That drive puts us out in front by 6.
New England is lined up for the kickoff. Russell waiting to return.
From the 8-yard line. The 30.
Kickoff return 25 yards. Jennings on the return. The Falcons will start the drive at the 33-yard line. 1st and 10.
They line up with 4 backers in there. First down, he's looking to throw. Looks, passes left, hits the rookie with a pass. Junior Seau, attack.
Shaw with the pass completion. And 9. Second and 1. Ball on the 42-yard line.
The defense lines up in the nickel. Quick handoff. They'll go with the play fake. This could be bad. They're going to spot this one at the 48.
Gain of 5. First and 10. Ball on the 48-yard line.
They'll line up in their 3-4. The halfback on the carry. Jonathan Sullivan there for the tackle. Pick up of about 8.
8 of 8. Second and 2. Ball on the 44.
He'll go from the I formation. Here's the feed. Makes the handoff. Good job on the deal, that second down pass. Taking the sack was just about the only thing he could do.
First down. First and 10. Ball on the 39.
Brooklyn goes in motion. He'll get the call again. He'll bring him down at the 42.
Norwood, the ball carrier on the right. Loss of 4. Second and 14. Ball on the 42.
Both offenses have really struggled finding a rhythm, and it's resulted in a tight game throughout. The way this one's going, the team that puts it in the end zone next is going to walk away with a win.
Second and 14. Ball on the 42-yard line.
They'll come out in the shotgun.
Cut! Blue 45! Blue 45!
They feed it to the tailback. Hawkins, there for the tackle. Gain of 3.
With the carry on the play. Gain of 4. 3rd and 10. All on the 39-yard line.
One man in the backfield. Drops back to pass. Chucks it to the right side. This one falls
The pass
incomplete.
results in an incompletion. Jennings, the intended receiver.
He'll come in and kick it away again. This will be his 3rd attempt. And now they have to determine where it went out.
First and 10. Ball on the
One man
17.
back. They feed it to the halfback. He goes down in the
With the
backfield.
carry. Loss of 3. 2nd and 13. Ball on the 14.
One back formation. He's back to throw it. Passing to the middle. Failing to connect.
The pass is incomplete. Graham, the intended receiver, on the play. Stand up and make some noise.
Single back formation. He scans the field. Over the middle. Tips it.
Pass interference. First down.
First and 10. Ball on the 30-yard line.
One man in the backfield. Again the handoff. Chris Cash with the stop.
Short. Second and inches. Ball on the 40.
Hey, sit with you. Come on, defense. Bang it.
They'll line up in a one-back set. Here's the give. Jackson there for the stop. Gain of 6 on the play.
That play is good for the Patriots first down. First and 10. Ball on the 46.
They'll line up in the I formation.
Blue 45.
Hands it off.
The 2.
Defense lines up in the four-man front. They hand it off again. Oh, not well executed. They'll lose yardage.
With the carry. Loss of 3. Make some noise for your defense, fans. 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Atlanta comes out of the corner defense.
Incomplete pass. Newton on the cover. All right, fans, time to make some noise. Makes the sack. Loss of 8.
Looks for an option. The
First and 10.
Falcons line up in the shotgun.
Ball on the 37-yard line.
They'll pass it here on first down. Knocks it away.
Pass interference. Defense. First down.
First
From
and
the
10.
gun.
Ball on the 27-yard line.
Looking to throw. Delivers it left. He extends for the leaping catch. They'll spot this one
Throws
at the
complete.
18. Trying for the free-quarter comeback. He'll rush them back to the line. He drops back. They got him. Looks like he was going to try for the big pass on that second down play, but the defense was right there in his face. Dropping back, surveying the field. This one will be caught. That score ties things up.
Touchdown, Falcons.
Number 5 will put us ahead if he nails this extra point here in the fourth quarter. The extra point attempt is good. The Falcons are now up by 1 with less than 90 seconds to go. We need a field goal stat. Number 5 sets up and is ready to send this one into the air.
Kickoff return 28 yards. On the return. The Patriots will start the
Only one
drive
man back.
at the 28-yard line.
Here's the handoff. He's under
First
pressure.
and 10.
Too much time and he's wrapped up.
Makes the sack. 3-yard loss on the play. Second
Single
and
back
13.
formation.
Ball on the 24.
They'll give it off there. Play action. He's in trouble.
Instead of
Gonna bring it down deep in the backfield.
9-yard
Sends it out to the left. Broken up.
The pass results in an incompletion. The defender on the play.
He wants to pass. Pressure coming in. He just hasn't had the time he's needed to set up and throw. That sack marks the fourth time he's been one down for a loss.
Loss of 6 on the play. First and 10. Ball on the 10.
Last time they were inside the 20, they were able to stick it into the end zone. They hand it off. Can't get it.
On the carry. Gain of 5. Second and 5. Ball on the 5-yard line.
Another chance. Tackle at the 2-yard line.
Griffith with the carry. Gain of 3. Third and 2. Ball on the 2.
These third downs don't seem to be much of an obstacle, and it's helped them to establish this lead. They keep it on the ground. Not enough. And with that run, the clock ticks down to 0.
That's what I do, baby. That's what I do.
Very tight game for ball, and you have to give a lot of credit to both of these defensive units, as this one could have gone either way.
Please drive home with it.
Hello.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this NFL preseason matchup. Starting at defensive end, John Seymour. Starting at receiver, from Louisville, Zion Branch.
Welcome to the broadcast here on EA Sports Radio, the flagship station of New England Patriots football. And we have near perfect conditions here in New England as we get ready for the opening kickoff of this one from Foxborough. We've got another exciting NFL preseason game lined up as the Cardinals take on the New England Patriots.
First and 10.
One man in the backfield.
Ball on the 21-yard line.
Dillon receives the handoff. Robert Griffin there for the tackle. Pick up about 5.
Dillon, the ball carrier on the play. Gain of 5.
Oh, that's a
Second and 5.
good stuff.
Ball on the 26.
One back formation. They give it to Corey Dillon. Oh, not well executed. And they'll lose
Dillon
yardage.
gets the call. Loss of 2. Third and 7. Ball on the 24-yard line.
Nickelback in this time. On the ground, the tailback. Bertrand Berry there for the tackle.
Gain of 2. Fourth and 5. Ball on the 26.
The fullback gets it. Goes down at the 29. So the defense rises to the 4th down challenge, and that may give them early momentum.
First and 10. Ball on the 29.
They line up in a one-back set. Warner looking to pass. He throws left. Brings it in.
Warner
They'll spot this
completes
one
the pass.
at the 24.
Gain of 5. Second and 5. Ball on the 24-yard line.
The Cardinals come out in a bunch formation. Kurt Warner looks to pass. Over the middle. Pulls it down. What a tackle. That saved a touchdown.
Gain of 12. First and 10. Ball on the 11.
This is their first trip into the red zone. Drops back, looks to pass. Makes the catch. They're going to spot this one at the 13-yard line.
Completes the pass. Loss of 1. Second and 11. Ball on the 13-yard line.
Only one man back. And off to James. Junior Seau takes him down. And he picks up about 4.
Gets the ball. Gain of 4. All right, fans, time's up. Make some noise.
Nickelback is in on this play. They go with the run. There's a play fake. Fitzgerald, and he's got a touchdown.
Touchdown, Arizona.
They line up for the point after. And he tacks on the extra point. Arizona leads in this one by 7.
Arizona is lined up for the kickoff. Brown waiting to return.
From the 1.
Kickoff return of 18 yards. On the return. The Patriots will start the drive at the 19-yard line.
The delay of game penalty. That'll set him back 5.
Complete first down.
First and 15. Ball on the 14-yard line.
Nickel package on defense. the fullback, running through the tackle. Here he goes. He makes a mistake and loses the football. It's scooped up.
Aaron with the recovery on the fumble. First and 10. Ball on the 15.
Their last red zone trip resulted in a touchdown. Warner back to throw. Chucks it to the right side. Tips it.
Incomplete pass. Hope the intended target on the play. Second down. Second and 10. Ball on the 15-yard line.
Out of the I formation. Hope moves in motion. Warner looking to pass. Passing to his right. He snatches it from the air.
Warner
He'll be tackled
completes the pass.
at the 4.
Gain of 10. First and goal. Ball on the 4-yard line.
One back formation. They give it to Edgerrin. Sheds the tackle. Edgerrin James takes it in for 6.
Touchdown, Arizona.
They line up for the point after. The point after is good. Arizona is now out in front by 14 after that drive. Rackers looks like he's just about ready to kick this one off.
Kickoff return 16 yards. Hines on the return. The Patriots will start the drive.
The defense
at the
lines up in the
16-yard
nickel.
line. First and 10.
Back goes the quarterback. He throws left. That's the way.
The pass is incomplete. Brown, the intended receiver, on the play. Second down. Second and 10. Ball on the 16-yard line.
They line up in a one-back set.
Ready! Blue 20! Blue 20!
Hand it off to the back. O'Keefer makes the tackle.
With the
No
carry
gain.
on the play. Loss of 1. Third and 11. Ball on the 16.
They'll go from the shotgun.
Ready!
Bertram Berry drops him for the sack.
Fourth and 1. Ball on the 8.
Brady to pass. Passing to the middle. No, he drops. So they fail on their attempt to
First and goal. Ball on the 8-yard line.
They scored a touchdown in their last trip into the red zone. Edge on the carry. He shut it down.
James gets the call. Gain of 4. Second and goal. Ball on the 4.
After 1 quarter of play, the score is 14-0.
Second and goal. Ball on the 4-yard line.
Whoa. You got nasty.
He'll keep it. He'll stop to keep him out.
Warner gets the call on the run. Gain of 3. Make some noise for your defense.
See it.
Nickelback in this time. Looking to break the plane. He needs to get rid of it. They'll spot this one at the 7. This one should be an easy 3. And he knocks it through. They're starting to run away with this one as that field goal puts them up by 17.
Arizona will be kicking off. Brown back deep to return. Kickoff return 16 yards. Brown on the return. First and 10. Ball on the 16-yard line.
Out of the I formation. Dillon receives the handoff. Hayes makes the tackle.
Dillon gets the pull. Gain of 6. Second and 4. Ball on the 22-yard line.
They'll come out in the I. They give it to Corey Dillon. Big one that time that brings up first down.
First and 10. Ball on the 27-yard line.
Defense lines up with a 4-man front. He'll take another one. He's brought down at the 29.
Gain of 3. Second and 7. Ball on the 29.
Four-man defensive front this time. Again with the carry. They're going to spot this one at the 29. 29-yard line.
Dillon gets the call in the way. No gain. 3rd and 7. Ball on the 29-yard
Only one man back. They give it to the tailback. Pulled down behind the line for a short loss.
Carry. Loss of 3. 4th and 10. Ball on the 27-yard line. Only 2 minutes remain in the first half of play. 4th and 10. Ball on the 27.
Brady back to throw. Throwing left. It drops the interception. New England can't convert on 4th down, and that's their 3rd failed 4th down attempt.
1st and 10. Ball on the 27-yard line.
One back formation. Kurt Warner looks to pass. Dumps it right.
The pass results in an incompletion. Johnson, the intended receiver, on the play. 2nd down.
Snap first. We're going to get that when you get him. We're going for a big game.
2nd and 10. Ball on the 27.
They'll line up in a one-back set. Here's the feed. The defense was unable to stop him, and he converts from the first.
Cardinals first down. 1st and 10. Ball on the 13.
Last time they were down here, they settled for a field goal. Edge on the carry. Brought down behind the line for a short loss.
James with the carry. Loss of 2. 2nd and 12. Ball on the 16.
Nickelback in this time. They give it to Edgerrin. Tries the juke. And he's a couple yards short of the goal line.
Timeout called by the offense. Make some noise for your defense, fans!
They've had good success so far in the red zone, and they'll try to continue that right here. Edge on the carry. Touchdown, Cardinals.
Touchdown, Arizona.
That's his 2nd rushing TD against us. They line up for the point after. He tacks on the point after. The Cardinals are having a great game, needless to say, adding more cushion to their already large lead.
All right, let's go. Let's get